we had some comments on a video. They were like, "Sorry, Toast, like you're wrong on this one." And I read that comment. I'm like, "God damn, I was wrong on that one."
Why is the jury laughing?
0 chance of winning the game.
Supposed to talk glamour to you.
My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer.
Lee, is there any way I could have your jacket?
Is it my island? Welcome back to Survivor Breakfast. We're talking episode 2 here. We got an exciting episode. Didn't realize it was going to be 90 minutes, honestly, on this one. We got a long episode. Unfortunately, the news, the spoilers, if anyone's listening who hasn't watched the episode yet, the spoiler is Justine unfortunately went home. She got blindsided by Jesse and the gang. What are your guys' thoughts, kind of opening thoughts on this episode?
Sorry, I just got to say, Jesse and the gang is a little on the nose, no? Did you mean it that way?
Yeah, that was actually brutal. I probably shouldn't have said it like that.
Jesse's actually out of the gang.
Pun not intended, I think.
It's rare for the pun not to be intended, but I believe you.
Jesse's
It truly
girl.
was. Well, Jesse's girl left. She's gone.
Yes. Yeah,
Justine's out. And looking at that preview for next episode, it looks like him and Dwight are gonna have a little bit of a divorce, unfortunately. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think Justine. Yeah, I was gonna say I think Justine kind of like fell flat. I mean, as a character, it seemed
said it last episode.
She kind of fell flat. You did say it last episode. I thought that she and Jesse would find a way in. I mean, I thought she would have found a way through Jesse, but it seemed like they were not going to be able to work together. And I think part of that is just his general read on her, and part of it was her own, poor.
She was very
gameplay,
aggressive,
telling him that she's a little bit skeptical. Yeah. But she fell a little flat. She came out. We talked about it in the pregame analysis that she was like, they're gonna think I'm all girly, but really I'm a tomboy. I can get down and dirty and do everything, like anybody else can, But then today we heard her talking about her nails. Like that was one of the things that she was like highlighted as in her like this person's annoying little montage. And I was like, okay, I don't really know what to think here because, like, didn't you say you were actively not going to do that? Now we're highlighting this thing. I don't know. I feel like her game was a little confusing to me. Didn't really seem like she knew what she was doing.
Kale, what about you? What were your thoughts on Justine here?
I kind of agree. I mean, Jesse was just looking for validation of how to paint Justine in his mind because Cody won out here in terms of the salesperson pitch. Resonated in Jesse's mind. Jesse just wanted validation to say, hey, I don't really need Justine to rock with us. Will they prove themselves to be right in their decision making? Because NECA was pretty bad in that challenge.
She was very bad in the challenge.
They dropped adjectives as such as atrocious and horrendous. So,
dude, Noelle looking at her while it was happening was really like
Noelle was fuming.
They cut to her multiple times where she was just like evil eyes. She was just like, "What are you doing?" But
the whole tribe put up a pitiful performance, stopping midway through. They were just didn't know what they were doing on the puzzle piece equation. So
I was gonna say Noelle like seemed like she was very much like anti NECA, yelling the whole time, but at the same time she's sitting out, right? So like there is some.
She was pissed. She was pissed.
I think she regretted sitting out. I think.
No. She didn't make the decision.
She was so mad.
No. If you read the tea leaves, Justine was patting Noelle on the shoulder because Noelle was pretty upset. So what must have happened is that NECA really stuck her neck out and said, "I want to be in this challenge."
That was brutal.
No, but honestly,
you think that's what it was?
Yeah, it was 100% what it was. Noelle
it might not have been. It also might not have been NECA herself. Maybe like the group as a whole was like, "Hey, maybe you sit out."
Clearly those were the two options.
No, I know. I know.
My question is, did her mechanical leg, her prosthetic leg, come into play here? For whatever, maybe the swimming portion, was she like somehow
my guess
unable
is
to do
climbing
that?
over the thing in the water might have been tough, but who knows? I mean, she knows her limits better than anybody else.
If that's the case, it might be a problem, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't do water activities on Survivor, you're not a strength to your team.
Yeah,
and I think
it was
a conventional strength.
Opening challenge of all of Survivor, like episode 1, she was in the water with Justine,
she pulled
maybe?
the boat?
Yeah, she pulled the boat. So she can do water stuff. But I think she might have taken off her leg. I can't remember.
No. It's what Sim just said. It was probably the climbing up the mesh thing was going to be.
That's
awkward.
my guess. Is the climbing
go
part
and
of it.
pulling the thing over. Regardless, I don't think they could
I'm
have
saying
done
she should have
worse.
done it. That's what I'm saying. I think
I agree. They did horrible. But what I will say is that was a hard challenge. That looked like a really tough challenge.
It was a good.
Getting
I
that
liked
snake
it a lot.
over. Yeah, it was a good challenge. I liked.
Yeah.
I think I like when they get right up to that line of how difficult the thing is. Obviously, last season we had a challenge where they had to stop it and reset everybody, which we don't necessarily want, but we want to get right up to that line. Going back to Justine, though, for me, I think her big failure here in this episode is just not having a good enough read on how to approach other people. I think Jesse did not respond well to her aggressive approaches, both in when she came up and said, "I don't trust you," and earlier when she had the whole "I'm good at lying" thing. He was really latched onto that as well. I think this is a good case of, a skill that you really need to have is, how do I approach? What do other people respond to on my approaches? Do I need to go the soft route with this person? Do I need to go with the strong and commanding position with this person when I'm talking to them? And I think she just misread, or maybe she doesn't have any other gear other than that.
Jesse kind of coaxed it out of her too, because she was like, "I'm gonna go put on an act," and Jesse was like, "Oh, are you good at acting?"
Well, I liked that. I liked that from
Which
Jesse
is awesome,
because it's like he's like, "Is she really gonna say this to me? Like, I'll give her I'll give her the sword to fall on, but is she really gonna fall on it here?" And to him,
she's
she
just
really
looking
did.
for a way to.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that something that I want to talk about though here is Cody getting his vote. They did a thing that they've done in last season as well, where the editors kind of hid something from us, where we didn't realize that he had gotten that last bracelet, and then they do a little flashback.
You knew it when they showed. I don't like how they edited.
Because you knew Justine was going to go home by the edit.
The edit was they showed Dwight not getting a vote, and then they didn't show it. They didn't show it for Cody. I was like, they could have done that a little bit better. They just show Cody walking up, not like Cody. It was weird. It was a weird edit.
Yeah.
You
I get it. They wanted to hide it.
On.
But Simi, a good point is you said it happened last season, but they actually really didn't do it last season. They did it
two
in 41.
seasons ago. Yeah.
But that's the point, right? Because with Nasir, that was the epic one, but they did it with Xander and the knowledge is power moving around, so Liana would mess it up. But I think it's a good point to say that it was 2 seasons ago, because last season they didn't really have it, right? So it really seems like, from my perspective, they're taking the best of all of these things and kind of meshing them together, right? They made modifications to 42. Some of them weren't good. Some of them didn't hit. They took out the ones from 41 and 42 that don't work. We have the Beware advantage, which we've been a fan of since day one. And then we also have these clever little flashback scenes. I don't know if this one hit as powerfully as the ones in the past have hit.
It felt not that great.
A little flat.
But
regardless, I like that they're doing it as an editing tactic.
I questioned it.
I like that they're doing it still, though. I like that it's a great storytelling. It's a great way to tell a story where it doesn't necessarily have to be linear, because Survivor is not a linear story.
Yeah, you know what it was for me, and Kale, I want to hear your thoughts on this too, because I know you always have some interesting opinions about editing and some of that stuff.
Don't say that. Please don't say that. Wait, Kale has the interesting opinions on editing?
The difference for me between this one and the Nasir reveal 2 seasons ago, because the Nasir reveal I loved. I called it actually. By the way, we weren't on air, but I called it. That one was epic, and I think the difference was.
Said it out loud.
I think the difference was that
it's true.
This one felt like they touched something a little too important, which is tribal. I didn't love that this one.
They did it in tribal. They did it in tribal for the.
Oh, I guess they did. I thought in my brain they had revealed it at the challenge when he said it out loud.
I think if I could say one of the things that was bad about this one is that they did it right before the last vote was read. So by the time Jeff said we have one more vote, the 5th vote, when we think at this point that there's probably only 4, when he says the 5th vote, we already know what we're about to see. You know what I mean? Which I guess is
with
also
the Nasir thing, it
similar.
still had some mystery to it.
It had some, there was a story to be told, but also now we also know that Justine is going home. Because if we know that Cody has a vote, then Justine's going home. So it's like this whole flashback scene is just kind of like putting off what we know is inevitable, that Justine is the one that has her name on the last vote.
Well, also to be clear, even if he didn't get his vote, they still would have gotten Justine out. Because
based on the way that the girls voted.
And Noelle split their vote, so it would have been a 2-1-1. But
that was negotiating, I guess, that they also did just in case. They had that split vote situation where Jesse flipped. Jesse was probably going to go. Also was also supposed to go on NECA so they could split the vote just in case something happened. But
which I don't know really why you're going that hard so early. But
my big commentary is that this was a great adaptation of the Beware Advantage. It was nice and fun.
Agree.
To be honest with you, I wish it was something. I wish it was something that could be drawn out a little bit more, but at the same time, it really couldn't, because once you got exposed, you didn't have a vote at the tribal. Everybody would again know would know your shit. So
especially on a vote like this, where he thought he lost his majority, like that really puts the pressure on.
This was an extrapolation from the Drea stick your hand down the red paint pipe situation.
Yeah,
which Tori spotted, by the way. only person to spot it.
She said maybe. Listen, I thought that was great. I thought Cody played it well, and let me ask the question. I had you guys on the last episode power rank this tribe. Coming out of this episode here, I mean, I think we're all in unison that Jesse really took the reins on what was going down here. But how do you guys power rank the rest of the players here?
On this tribe?
Yeah, this tribe. Well, it's tough. I think it really depends here on how Dwight reacts to this quote unquote betrayal.
Well, just this episode in general.
Well, this episode in general, I think Jesse, I like the best out of the group. I was actually kind of impressed with Cody this episode.
I
you have to say.
I thought he had a,
and now he's more powerful coming out of it.
A great episode, and I like this kind of living life, just guy chilling vibe that he's cultivating with the other players as well. And I don't know whether that's just who he is or if he's doing that intentionally. But he does seem like he's playing pretty hard as well. Like I don't think that he really is just like, oh, I'm here just to be on the island. So I thought he was good this episode. NECA just doesn't seem to have that much agency to me.
At all.
Same with Noelle. Noelle doesn't have any real. I mean, Noelle just seemed kind of like a follower, like a hanger on to Justine, and now she's kind of out in the open waters here. And then Dwight, like I said, I'm worried how he's going to react to this, because if he really takes this to heart and then tries to hang out with Noelle, it's just such a mistake. You're putting yourself on a losing side.
He could easily just be like, oh, like I understand you have to do it. Like I thought we were doing the other thing, but I'm fine either way.
You just got to eat it.
And even if he exactly, you got to eat it. But even if he is upset about it, don't make it, kind of out loud. Don't be angry out loud.
Hold the grudge for later, sure, but don't.
Hold it.
Yeah. To Jesse's face, you gotta be like, we're good.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Beware Advantage really quickly while we're on it. Kale, to give some credence to your favorite player from last season, Drea. I mean, I might not be fully correct on this, but Drea's Beware Advantage, I think, is the only Beware Advantage that we've seen that was entirely secret, where it was just her
until she fucked herself.
I understand, but which is bad. Agreed. She almost had it. And she said too many words, or maybe a sentence too much. But this is sort of where the Beware falls a little bit. It's a little bit. It's not reaching its full potential yet. And what I mean by that is that in this exact scenario, it's unfortunate that Tribal was like 10 minutes away. You know what I mean? Because in this scenario, it would have been really awesome to see one individual try to come up with a way to do this. Yes. Right?
All on their own.
You automatically lose power when 3 out of 6, which then becomes 3 out of 5 people on your tribe know about the thing that you have. But it's not Cody's fault. It's his fault for taking it so late, although I think I would have done the same thing. And
mistake.
Wait. I knew that was going to be a thing, but
Johnny.
it's okay. you're making me lose my thought process. I got to get back on it. I knew that would be contentious, but it's not as powerful. It's not nearly as powerful. But if he had a full day to really sit in this Beware advantage and be like, what is the most...
That's what I was excited about.
Because that's like real social strategy. Because if you can keep that to yourself and you can just show the audience, like, look at this. I got every single person. They have no idea. They're all fools. They're all idiots. And I have an idol to myself. And they gave it to me. They gave me the idol. It's not that I found it. They all collectively gave it to me.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. But now we have like NECA being like, Noel, give him the damn bracelet already, you know? Like hand it over, you know, cough it up. And you're like, okay, well, something is wrong here.
And I think on top of that, Toast, too, like, could you think of a better person to get this than Cody? Like, Cody's the perfect person to be like, he had the hat already. Like, who's a better person
if he had a little more time.
Yeah, I think it could have been really fun. But I still think we got some good moments out of it. And
sure. Yeah,
but I totally agree with you. But we need to talk about it's such a mistake to be opening this Beware advantage. You have to think yourself, because he even said it himself. He's seen 41-42. He knows that there's a good chance that this is a lose your vote, scenario potentially. All you have to do in your head is just one simple thing: is what happens if I do lose my vote, and what happens if I don't lose my vote. If I do lose my vote, my majority is fucked.
But I don't think he really...
It's not about that. The last Beware advantage, you literally had no chance if you found it, because you had to wait to the next immunity challenge. So you do not open that.
True. In that sense, but at the same time, I don't really think that Cody's allegiances were so set in stone. I think like his personality, he's very like go with the flow. I think
he wanted NECA. I think he wanted
That's fine. That's fine. But I don't think it would have been a disaster had NECA gone home for Cody. So I think in his mind, it's like, okay, I don't have a vote. And obviously,
I disagree.
Outcome oriented right now, we know that Justine would have gone home anyway. I know that wasn't what Cody was thinking when he did it. But regardless, it would have worked out either way that Justine would have gone home. Not to say that makes the decision good. I'm just saying that why not get an advantage for yourself right now?
I think it's an objectively bad decision to open that.
If it was his number one ally, like 100%, that he wanted to go to the end of the game with, or he himself were in danger, then no, it's not a great move. I get it.
There's no reason though. But Toast, he knows that Dwight is not really fully on their side. If you lose NECA, you're now in the minority alliance. That's it.
It's not necessarily true.
Well, no, hold on.
If they can't pull Dwight now, they're not going to pull Dwight next week.
NECA is clearly going to be someone that's going to be helpful moving forward, especially if you can set some stage of loyalty.
But how many times are they going to have to cover for her poor performance and challenges?
Oh no! I agree with that. I just said that earlier. I said it's probably not the smartest of moves
if you get rid of NECA in this scenario, even if it's not in your best interest right now, that might save you from going to tribal till the merge.
I understand that.
All I'm saying is
they're going to vote Noel out next.
In this fast-paced Survivor season that we have now, it's very difficult to leave a Beware advantage. I'm much more keen on not risking my vote at Shipwheel, Rock Island, whatever you want to call it. I'd rather not risk there and take the Beware advantage, because at least in that scenario, you might have the opportunity to have an advantage all to yourself. And there could have been a way he got the job done, but there could be ways that are easier than that to get your vote back.
So let's circle it back. I agree with you.
It worked out.
I think you would have been singing a different tune though if they had to draw rocks.
Hold on. Let's talk about this from a producer lens now. Clearly, this was something that even if he didn't do what he just did, because to be quite honest with you, if he had a full day, maybe he could have accomplished it. But if he didn't accomplish it, he would have had no vote, and it all would have came out to everybody anyways, right? So it would have been way worse if he didn't accomplish it with the two other people. But listen,
in this case, it wouldn't have.
Here is a adaptation. You lose your vote at a future situation, which means it might not even come to fruition if you get voted out prior. But I'd rather have that than a situation where everybody knows your shit. So let's say you lose your vote at the merge if you don't collect these beads by the merge, and then you can't use your immunity idol until the merge. that make sense? I mean, I guess that's
one
kind of
adaptation.
like.
Yeah,
I think
know.
a cooler.
Well,
I think a cooler one would be. Sorry, I think a cooler adaptation to that would be you lose your vote at an upcoming vote that's unspecified, so you can't even like you don't know which one you're not going to be able to vote at.
No,
you
but
walk
that's the
up
thing.
and it's just
Yeah,
you can't
that's,
vote.
that's too much
that doesn't-
RNG. Like the producers, I don't know.
Well, no,
Here's-
hold on.
yeah.
That doesn't stop the fact that you then need to go talk to people. If you know you have a clock on your back of your head,
Yes.
Yeah.
you can do shit on your own to start.
Yes.
Yes, of
That's
course.
what you're
I
talking
agree.
about. The best way for the best production to happen is if you're doing this on your own, and you have that
Yeah.
moment where
Yes.
you say, "Ha ha ha ha."
But,
ha.
but
Agreed,
here's
agreed.
my
I totally
here's my
agree.
thing though, guys. I don't think that this particular Beware advantage actually. I actually don't think it needs any tweaking because he could have accomplished this without telling anybody. It wasn't.
I don't know. In that
We
amount of time.
agree.
No,
We
I don't-
agree. Not in that amount of time.
I think
That's what we're
I don't
saying.
think it was impossible in that amount of time.
It was,
I really
it was
don't.
a long shot.
If he convinced, I just think what I mean to say is that like the original Beware advantage where you had to say something.
He didn't come up with the idea. Jesse
that
came
was
up
Jesse.
with the idea.
But this has nothing to do with him in particular. I mean, somebody who gets this advantage could do it on their own. What I mean to say is that like the original Beware advantage, what we didn't like about it was that no matter what, there was no scenario where a ton of people knew about your advantage. Correct?
Where a ton of people didn't know is what you're saying.
I'm saying there's no scenario where somebody else doesn't know about your advantage with that original one.
Correct. Everyone knows
Right.
is what
Correct.
you're trying to
This
say.
I like this and I like the paint one because there is a
Love the paint
good
one.
likelihood there is like almost equal likelihood that somebody's going to know, but it just depends on how you
Yes.
play it, right?
It's your choice. Yes.
But that's what I
Totally.
mean is that's why I think this one doesn't because part of your I don't want to skew it in the direction of secrecy because part of this Beware.
I disagree.
No, because
Why?
Secrecy is the best part.
the
yeah,
beware is you might not have your vote.
But here's my thing: is the Beware is not only do you maybe not have your vote, but you need to think about the secondary effect of this thing of people knowing my thing.
Of people
So
knowing.
What
I
I mean is
understand
like,
that.
the strategy is
I
all on
understand
that.
you. Is what I mean. Is it's
Yes.
in your control whether people know about this
Yeah.
or not.
Yes.
I understand that, but
That's
agree.
what I mean.
This
Is
talks.
these Bewares are really double Bewares, which means I don't want to
Hold
skew
on.
it towards privacy because I want that to be part of the strategy. Is can I get away with this? And the extra little bit is keep a secret.
I understand what you're saying, but my whole theory last season when I got very heated about
good
this
point.
situation is that the best plays in the game of Survivor have been ones born out of soul secrecy. So
Yeah.
I understand that you don't
Agreed.
want to skew. I know you don't want to skew it completely to secrecy, but that's where the best television comes from.
But that's what I mean is
It is.
I agree with you, Kale. I agree that some of the best moments have come from that secrecy. But I like that it being secret has to be your accomplishment. You have to
Yes.
accomplish that secrecy.
yeah, but
It's
in
not
a scenario
just-
with
it's
what
not just you
happened
auto
tonight,
with a normal immunity idol, you just auto get secrecy. 95% of the time, unless you're with somebody, right? Like you auto get that secrecy. I like that
No,
these
I
Bewares
understand, I
that it
understand.
takes some strategy to make it a secret
Well, I think
idol.
we're all in agreement here. I don't think there's any.
Yeah. But that's
anyone
why I
who's
like that it's
disagreeing.
more of a 50-50
I think
than
that-
a 90-10. You know what I mean?
I think Cody, if he sat on that for a little bit longer and had enough time, he could have come up with something akin to the hat idea
I think so,
on his
too.
own. He just needed someone who is quicker at thinking in the moment, and also it has to be said that once you get one person on board, this whole process becomes a little bit easier because
Agreed.
Jesse's in the background going, "If I had more beads, I'd give you more." Like wink, wink. Like,
but I think that's part of the
Justine
math that the producers are doing there, right? Like they're kind of
But if
implicitly
Cody
giving
were
people
able-
an easy
yeah.
and a hard path. Like if you have allies, obviously this becomes easier. But if you go the hard path, you have a better advantage because it's secret.
It
You
just
have
would
to
have been
make that
better if you had
decision.
more
Am
time.
I going the slightly easier path, but it's not as secret,
Cal-
or am I going
Yeah.
the harder path, but it's more secret?
Kale, I know like something that you probably think about right now is Kelly Wentworth and idling out Savage, right? In Cambodia. Even
Love it.
Sierra and Abby did not know that she had an idol.
I know.
Like they didn't
But
even know. It cuts to
The be-
Sierra and
it-
she's
it's
like,
the best
I didn't know
TV.
about this. It's the best because those are her two only allies in the game, and they don't know about this. They don't need to know about it.
What's been my biggest thing over the since we've come back from the COVID pause of Survivor, we have not had a single moment where any of that's been close. There's not been an idol play that's been successful in a secret manner since we've come back from the COVID pause.
Marianne's anti-idol play, at the end of Tribal, at the end of Final Tribal, is the closest that we've gotten, and it's explosive.
That was in the finale after 2 seasons.
Maybe I would argue the Xander knowledge is power swap.
No, but I'm talking about an idol.
That was a team effort too.
I know.
That was also a team. That was all.
Look.
Listen, I missed that.
But what I mean is, like, regular idols aren't not going to be a part of this season. So why don't we?
They haven't been. They have not been for 2 seasons.
I guess they haven't been, huh?
That's what I'm talking about. This is why I got so heated last year.
Yeah, we do.
I jumped down your throats.
I think you need a mix of regular idols and Beware advantages. I think you need both.
I think it's hard to say right now that it was
Drea could have fucked shit up. She could have fucked shit up.
Okay.
Enough about
it's hard to say that. It's hard to say that
she had them all in her pocket last season.
What are we doing right now?
We're on 43.
It's hard to say that it was a bad decision based on the outcome that we saw.
Yeah, but Toast, you know that argument doesn't work.
But I understand. But in multiple ways, we
preach on this podcast.
I get it. Intention over outcome
on judging decisions.
But I get it. But in more than one way, he was going to be fine no matter what. Because 1, he got the job done and got all the fees. And 2, the vote was split anyway, where he wasn't going to need his vote to begin with to get his outcome. I understand.
Something was finagled back at Tribe to create that split vote. So they maybe.
I guess Jesse knew. Jesse knew that they were maybe going to do that. But I don't know that Jesse trusted that either, because he didn't trust Justine. I think
we should bounce to another tribe. Talk about some.
Just my last thing is I think Toast, if you ran that same decision 10 times, I think you're hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself.
100%.
By opening that advantage.
They didn't think it was going to be the idol thing. You also
can employ the thing where you just leave it till the next fucking
They're
tribe.
going to move it.
They would move it.
They're going to move it.
I think they would.
You don't get to just sit on this thing.
There's no way they don't move that.
I mean, didn't Shannon Ricard do something like that, where like they were like,
what's her face?
Did they have somebody else open it?
This is where it is. Yeah. No, they were like, this is where it is. We all know it's here. Don't open it. And then they came back to it. So maybe they could.
That's what I'm talking
about. But that was
a
quick. That was like they came back 20 minutes later or something.
I think producers in that moment are like, this is such good television that we can't do what we were intending on doing, which is move the thing.
Yeah, but it fell a little flat.
Let's
I say we jump over to Baka.
Get the Baka.
I think you're right. Let's head over.
Back to Baka.
So Baka Tribe, we're talking, Ellie, Janine, Owen, Gabler, and Sammy here.
The gang.
The absolute gang. I have to say, I was loving Ellie this episode.
Ellie.
For sure.
I was loving Ellie.
Yeah, I think so too.
But, and Toast and I talked about this before we started recording. I liked Janine a little bit more than Ellie.
Oh, I like Janine a lot today. For some reason, Janine got brutalized by that last.
Yeah, her chin got ripped on that one.
When she went underneath.
That thing.
That looked tough.
She got brutalized.
She was the weak link there.
She went to war with that challenge. Jesus. But
that probably made her look better. She really put her heart into it.
Here's what I gotta say. I think Janine and Ellie are a smarter duo than what Justine and Noelle were putting out there. But you gotta be 100%. And you gotta be careful, because on the other tribe too, on Coco, you got Ryan and Gio doing a similar thing. Getting into this solidified duo that kind of excluding yourself from everything else and really promoting how close knit you are, it is problematic, especially now on this Baka tribe.
I think Ryan and Gio is a little different.
When you're up against,
I think they got excluded. I don't think they were excluding themselves.
Well, we just talked about it We talked about it last podcast that they accepted that decision. In doing that and doing the sweat piece of the puzzle.
But I don't think they're truly isolating themselves. Like, it seems like Ellie and Owen have a pretty good relationship. It also seems like Ellie has a reasonably good relationship with Sammy.
Regardless if they're not,
the
guys said that they're really tight. If
you're
putting off that perception, it's an issue.
Of course. I hear what you're saying.
I'll come at you.
Yeah, you're gonna after me.
I don't think you could say that you like. I don't know what the angle is for saying that you like Justine better than Ellie.
Here's my thing.
You mean Janine?
Janine.
What did I say?
Justine got booted.
This is a J squad.
There's too many J names. There's too many J names.
I was on you guys
last girl.
The reason I kind of
where's James? We haven't talked about James.
Kale, let me say my piece, please.
James is still dragging his on the back of that snake.
yeah, he's laying on the beach getting.
That's the only thing I remember of James this episode.
Is like he's tubing behind a boat.
They're pulling 400 pounds of snake
and then
about
200 pounds of James.
Probably of James.
Yeah.
On the tail end.
Well, here's my thing, Toast, with the Janine Ellie thing here. Is that Janine and Ellie, like Kale's saying, are kind of this duo, and Sammy and Gabler and Owen are kind of talking about it.
Watching.
And then I think if those three guys go after those two, like they're going after Ellie before they're going after Janine.
Why?
Because she's so clearly the leader of that group.
No, I don't think that's that clear.
They have relationships with her though.
I suppose so, but like I don't know. I mean, this is probably my bias, but like I think it's, I don't know. To me, if I'm on that beach, I think Ellie's a better player than Janine.
Well, you're also.
But they're making relationships. You got to think like at this stage in the game, like you want to be rolling with someone who's good at the game, assuming that you're going to do good things together and then take them out eventually. You're not going to just target Ellie right now because she's really good at the game. You're going to target Janine because it'll bring Ellie closer to you.
That's what happened with Justine.
Hold on, that you have to have two different types of thinkers there, Toast. I think Gabler, if he feels that Ellie's like dominating the game, Gabler will take her out. But if you're thinking,
we saw that kind of in the next episode where he feels betrayed.
Well, no, because
based on what we see here. Based on what we see here, Ellie is actually making relationships with the guys. So I would not be like, oh, let's get rid of Ellie so we can keep Justine around. And even if that's the case, that they're thinking that, Justine doesn't. Janine. Sorry,
come on, buddy.
Janine doesn't have that longevity either.
Here's my thing, Toast. We have evidence that there are people who think very differently than you, right? This episode,
for sure. Yeah, I can empathize with that.
Jesse got out Justine, who he thought was the stronger player of that duo. And I didn't see Jesse talk to Noelle once.
No. He didn't say that he was a strong. He didn't say that Janine. I'm kidding. Okay.
I think he thought she was a strong player.
No, he said that she was against him. She was saying that I don't trust Jesse.
I think he also thought that she was a good player, dude.
Fine, if that's the case, but there's a difference between having a good player want to work with you and having a good player not trust you. And Jesse was able to say, "Listen, if you are a good player, I don't want you around because you don't have my best interest."
You're right. Okay, you're right. I agree with you.
Owen might think to himself, "Ellie's really good at the game, but she wants to work with me," and that may or may not be true. But if he feels that way, he's not going to get rid of Ellie.
I know that, but we have evidence that Sammy works a little differently. In Ep 1, he wanted to get out Owen because he was such a good player.
Sammy works differently. I'm saying, so you're saying
Sammy,
the guys as a whole. But that's what I mean
is like Sammy was the only one who was talking strategy between all three of the guys.
Janine hasn't had a single conversation with any of the guys. It seems
I know, but I don't think it's unreasonable to think maybe Sammy would try to go after Ellie before Janine. That's all I'm saying.
Let's dissect this.
I think Sammy had a great episode as well. I like Sammy a lot.
No. Sammy was good, but let's dissect this. Owen's little water walk situation. Give me Toast Meta Corner on what your thought process is there.
Oh,
which what are we talking about?
The one where he's getting all grumpy and he was like pissed that he was bringing back water.
That was a very elongated scene. No?
Yeah, where he's like, if I'm doing this and everyone's looking for idols, like I'm gonna be pissed. And
it was more than that. It was more than that. He kept talking about how his friends at home that it would be probably impressed because of how he's kind of
handling it.
Yeah, how
he's like he's not outwardly expressing that he's frustrated with the fact that nobody's helping him with this.
But he is easily frustrated.
So he's letting us know that this is taking effort on his part and that he is aware that other people are probably doing things to their advantage to his deficit for having to do it. Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg Toasty. Meta. My thought process is that this is extreme character development here, and they want to portray Owen as someone that maybe in the future is going to have some frustrations later on in this game. That's how I view it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think that they all said earlier last episode that Owen's going to bite them in the butt later on in the show. I mean, later on in the game for them, but the show for us. Does that mean that might come to fruition? I think it might. I mean, there is something there with Owen, I think, that is
I think he's long for the game. I think it's valid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's validated that he's long for the game.
But you know, the farther we go into this game, the harder and harder it's going to be for him to keep those frustrations inside. The less food you have, the worse sleep you're getting, the more tired. You know what I mean? Like that's just going to get tougher and tougher for him.
Same thing with Sammy. If Sammy's big thing is that he doesn't want to show that he's smart, right?
No, you know what?
We saw it play out with Jonathan last season, where Jonathan was telling us the whole time, I don't want to come off as aggressive. I don't want to make other people feel this way about me. And then the confessional would be like that. And then the actual interactions with his castmates are just pure aggression.
Listen. Sammy's young, so he might be prone to doing so. But even from my read on him through 2 episodes is that there's been none of that really expressed, that he's showing visible frustrations to everybody else, other than the challenge situation, which he's just going after Gabler, who's just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah, Gabler's just hanging for the ride.
I'm gonna make my call right here. The visible frustrations that come out of Sammy are going to be the highest in those 2 situations. I think he's going to be very even keeled. I really like what I've seen from Sammy.
Sorry, I don't clarify that. What are you saying?
In terms of visible frustrations, when we're just talking about Owen versus Sammy.
Owen will show
Sammy
it more.
No, I don't think Sammy. I think the most frustration we're going to see out of Sammy is those 2 situations.
We've
already seen the
we've already passed the storm.
We've hit the apex, the local maximum.
I've seen some decent maturity from him. I really have.
Yeah.
I really liked him this episode. I thought he was great.
To counteract that point about the maturity thing, like earlier on in the episode when they're talking about the rain, and he's like, "Oh, like what? You can't avoid the rain here. Like at home, I could just go to the convenience store and mom can pick me up." And I'm like. I'm like, okay, that's great, but like, aren't you trying to pretend that you're 22? Like, even 19, like, I feel like you should be able to get around a little bit more independently.
I got picked up by my mom
picks me up. My mom's watching this right now, rolling her eyes. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. But like, you're trying to portray that you're older. Maybe that's not the best example. I guess it was to us, though.
Debbie's coming over.
Debbie's picking you up. Didn't your car break down like 8,000 times our senior year of high school?
I'm guilty. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. I'm not saying that, but
ran out of gas in my driveway.
Senior year of high school is what, 18? He's 19, but he's playing 22. When I was 22, my car was running fine.
I don't know about that. I don't know if your car's running fine right now. I'm sure you got a few check engine lights on.
Listen, to give the thought process from this Baka tribe, I really think, again, Gabler is still kind of. I really don't know what to think of the guy. I texted you guys both. I thought he could have a medevac or quit. I actually gave him too little credit to say.
With that spear, I thought he was going to stab himself. I
just don't know what he's up to. So listen,
he's an enigma.
I think you could rule him out from a winner's perspective. If he won, that would be a crazy
turn of
events.
A 100% chance he's not winning the game.
But listen, all four of the other tribe mates on Baka, I like what I'm seeing from them.
I'm getting a little
all of them
worse.
Have at least an inkling.
I'm getting a little worse on Owen, ep by ep, to be honest with you.
I think there's more in store for him.
I think so too, but so far our first 2 episodes have both brought Owen slightly down for me each ep. I know we're only 2 episodes in. I'm just what I'm saying.
He had a bad. No, you're right. He did have a bad from an edit perspective. He did have a bad take when he was like, "I'm 95% sure that the idol is done." When in reality,
that was weird. It's like, no, check.
I hate that. Just to bring it back to Winners at War, we talked about it last time. Like when Tony was like, I think Natalie has an idol when she came back from the Edge, and Sarah's like, no chance. She has an idol. No chance. And Tony's like, well, what if she does though, right? So Tony, obviously, he's the winner. He's the guy who knows what's good. We're viewing it through his perspective. Sarah's like, no chance. Trust me on this. Blah blah blah. Owen wasn't as aggressive when he said something like that, but it also doesn't come off great to say I'm 95% sure and then be wrong about it, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you should just say, I don't know. Let's fucking check.
Well, okay. Well, here's the other piece.
That was a heart-pounding moment too, by the way.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. If it's true that they're trying to lean towards the Guy Alliance, to steer these women away from going, ape shit and diving through these bags, to convince them that they're good to go, it's maybe the better play. So
if that is his
potentially, but I don't think that's what he was doing. I think he was.
I think they're smart to stick together as three guys at this point. Those two women seem to be extremely smart.
They're very, very smart. I
and
agree. They're great.
Definitely closer.
I think they're really good players.
Their individual relationship with one another is stronger than any of the individual relationships amongst the men.
I think Gabler. Here's the last piece I'll leave on the Baka tribe. I think Gabler is a wild card. And I know we've questioned wanting to saddle yourself to a wild card bucking Bronco, as we say, because you don't want to get screwed by some flipping maneuver. I think he's going to be loyal to a fault. I think he's going to be someone you want in your pocket.
I can't agree with you
more.
more.
I think he's going to lash out.
I think
Gabler?
I think he's
I think he's going to be loyal.
I think he's
Gabler,
he's snuggling up in the safest little den he can, and then they can send him out on little wild missions.
His problem is his unpredictability.
I agree that's the problem, but I don't think he'll ever get pulled. But if they create a guys alliance right now, I don't think Gabler would ever get pulled into some other alliance.
No, listen, I get that, but what I'm trying to say is that not being predictable is just as dangerous as being disloyal in some instances.
Yeah,
he can shoot rogue. He can do something crazy.
Give away your plan.
But this is different from the conversation we had about Daniel last season. This is different. I don't think he can do something that's harmful. I don't think he's capable.
Well, the shot in the dark.
I think he is capable of doing something unintentionally harmful.
Yes, that's exactly the point. Why? If he said, I'm not going to play my idol...
I think he's staying in Denver. I think he's staying in Denver as a Bronco, and he's chilling.
All right, well, we'll see.
Well, let's talk about the last tribe here that we haven't talked about, Coco. We
didn't really get much.
They've just been winning all the challenges.
Nothing.
We haven't seen anything from them.
Lindsay didn't have a line, I don't think. I mean,
neither did Cassidy.
Cassidy looked happy when they
Ryan
won.
and Gio. We got Gio's whole.
James was riding on the back of the snake.
I don't think we got a line from James. I think we only got a line from Ryan and Gio this episode.
No, and Carla described their situation too.
Carla was the voice of the tribe in this episode for sure.
Yeah.
No,
and
listen,
it wasn't much.
No, it wasn't much. I honestly, anything we kind of describe from this squad right here is kind of just
grasping at straws.
They did not give us much. They did not give us much.
I mean, the only thing I got out of it is Ryan's a fucking beast in challenges.
Yeah.
You know what?
That wasn't from their camp life,
I will say this. The confessionals that Gio gave tonight, I liked more from, the perception that we've kind of felt about Gio.
Net positive for Gio for you?
Yeah, I feel like Romeo last season, who we compared him to in terms of physical ability, right? That in terms of, we thought that last year Romeo wasn't going to have physical ability, but he turned it around. He led the pre-merge in terms of.
That's what I was going to say. There might be some recency bias here because he was so bad at the end, but he was like the most well connected and well situated person on the pre-merge tribe.
But
we were blindsided when he wasn't in the big alliance at the merge. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, but what turned for him was that
Shan abandoned him.
No.
Oh no.
Shan, Drea.
Oh my God.
No, that Romeo kind of got, a little too worried and a little too, scared in terms of what was happening around him. I don't even know if we're comparing Gio is even necessary in terms of, comparing him to Romeo. We just talked about it from a physical standpoint. Gio may be
but they have a very similar story, so I don't think it's like too crazy to compare the two of them, right?
No, of course not. No, of course not. But all I'm saying is that I am not sensing that that erratic nature from Gio in terms of
paranoia.
The paranoia. That was Romeo's downfall in terms of losing steam from being viewed as a power player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Gio has the potential here to be playing a little even keel. I like the fact that he found this almond tree. I don't know. I've never heard about an almond tree in Survivor history.
I didn't know they grew on trees, to be completely honest.
I also did not know that either. Didn't know that either. And that one of them was in that one thing that sucked. But
it's a lot of work.
That's
why they
brutal.
cost so much, man. Have you ever bought a bag of almonds? It's like 20 bills.
No, I was thinking about the same thing. Yeah,
let me tell you though, the honey sesame covered almonds from Trader Joe's, fire.
I'm sure they're great. They're not coming off the tree that way, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's true.
I'll tell you that
listen,
much.
I was impressed from just a confessional standpoint that I think Gio might have more staying power than we have alluded to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
I think that
again, extrapolation. Tea leaves.
Their tribe to me right now is the least complex tribe, whereas like the other tribes, there's like these nuances. Like Cody is like, what do we do with him? Like, do we trust him? Do we not? He got his way. He doing this and that. The other tribe, Baka, is like female alliance potentially, but there's only 2 of them. We got the wild card of Gabler, all this stuff. All I know from 2 episodes, and 2 long episodes, by the way, because we got the 90 minutes this time and the 2 hours last time, is that Ryan and Gio are like buddies, and Lindsay wants to do an all-girl thing, and Carla like hasn't made up her mind. Like that's not really too complicated.
Look, they've won every challenge. Like they just haven't had to, or they've been safe every challenge at least. They haven't had to get forced into those positions yet. I think, if that stuff was happening, I think they would show us it probably in the edit. I think, they just haven't had to really have those moments. They haven't been forced into making those decisions yet. So I think they're probably pretty happy-go-lucky in their tribe with their fishing gear and hanging out.
I think Vessi is in trouble with the decision that they made, just from the standpoint that just in case Noelle can't do something in particular, which I would hope that they would have a challenge that she's not hindered too much. One.
There was speculation, by the way, too, like that she couldn't do it. I don't know if she couldn't, but I think it was if she could do.
No,
the
it was. I think
today,
it was the wall that Sim
pointed
out. The wall that Sim pointed out with the prosthetic probably was an issue to be climbing all around. I think she mentioned after the challenge that she would have taken her leg off to go up or something like that. I don't know.
I must have missed that then.
So my whole thing is I think Vessi's in trouble. I like the construction of this Coco tribe. I think Ryan's leading the pack in terms of his challenge prowess. Cassidy and Lindsay kicked ass in the puzzle once they got up to it.
They did.
Janine and Ellie kicked ass on the Baka in terms of the puzzle too. I think I really truly believe we got some smart characters all around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say
we got a guard cast.
Yeah, great cast. Kale, I after having watched 2 episodes, I want to like Cassidy. I want to know more about Cassidy.
You will.
No, but I'm saying it early just so that you know. Like I'm on your side. I think that there's some substance there, but I want it to like come out, and I think that Simi, you're right that it may take some external pressure, like tribal, to really like gather the troops and figure out who's who.
Well, that's my problem too. Is like I don't know anything about Cassidy. Like at least I know something about Gio and Carla and Ryan.
Lindsay didn't say anything.
Lindsay didn't say anything. Yeah, Cassidy didn't say anything.
Cassidy had a few different confessionals last travel. But listen, big picture. Anybody have a good feeling from 2 episodes about a front runner other than really the only guy leading really any charge anywhere is probably Jesse, and that's kind of just circumstantial because they went to tribal.
I don't think anybody's like
have a good read.
I don't think anybody's like far ahead. I don't think anybody's like, oh, it's so clearly they're the best player right now. I think that we got a lot of really good players out here who could potentially do some really exciting stuff, especially post-merge. I honestly can't wait till post-merge with the cast and crew that we have right now.
Yeah, I need a little more because I still have no idea. I want to dig my teeth into it a little bit more.
We're sort of forced right now with where we're at in the whole process to just really be able to identify threats. Like who has a chance if they're sitting in front of people.
All right, let's do it right now.
I mean, obviously,
who's ruled out? That's the best way to go about this.
I think Gabler's out.
I think Gabler's out.
NECA is out.
I think NECA's out as well.
NECA's probably out.
Noelle, I think, is out, unfortunately, even though I think she has a good story. It just doesn't seem like she has...
I think she's voted off next
She just doesn't really have any agency.
Agency is the problem.
I think she's the next boot. and I really can't read anything off
Anything
the
on the
Coco tribe.
Can't read anything on Coco. I think those are the only rule-outs, though.
Jesse has shown. I think it's him and Ellie. I think who have shown their people skills the most. Like their social and like EQ, emotional intelligence, or whatever you want to call it, has definitely been top notch for me. Like Ellie able to like act like a mother figure to Owen, who's like probably like what 4 years younger than it. I don't know what their ages are off the top of my head,
pretty close.
But like really like talking to him, calming him down, understanding what emotions he's feeling, like super like smart with that. Jesse talking to Dwight like, this is how I talk with my wife. Like he contextualizes every conversation he has with people. Which is awesome. That. He's like, what do you say? It's banana time. Banana time.
He was eating that up.
I was a bowl of cereal, scooping it in my mouth.
Like a bowl of a single almond.
It was pineapple time. Which I don't know why that's what it is, but
Janine, Justine, whatever you want to say.
I like that he
Jesse,
that he almost braced Dwight too for that honesty moment instead of just throwing it on him.
The only thing I didn't like, and this is very nitpicky, is that if you think about what they did, you guys are gonna be like, what the hell?
I'm gonna rip into you.
No, I just
fuck you, Toast.
He basically was like, okay, so the plan is NECA, and they're walking, and he's like, okay, brings up pineapple time, and then they stop, and then he introduces this idea. They stop moving, and I feel like if you're gonna try to like make this like slip this in as seamlessly as you can, why would you stop moving?
Here's the abruptness. We're changing the plan.
Yes. That's exactly the point. I think that you got to just keep walking and make it just
it can't always be perfect. It can't
always
be
swimming.
It's like this is pineapple time. We're gonna keep walking and let's because
my guess is they were getting close to like the exit of the path or something like that because
they're about to walk into the cameraman or something.
Walked straight up to them like right after. So my guess it was like close to the camp or something like that.
It's a minute point, but
the conversation was going to go longer than the walk would have lasted.
Agree or disagree that it would have been better to keep walking.
Agree. But I think it might have been an external.
About where
it could have been an external factor.
But that's pure speculation that the path ended. Like you have no idea where the path ended. Yeah, but the path,
road less traveled.
I love it. Well, look, I just want to be clear. Jesse and Ellie were in my top 3, and Ellie was my winner pick from preseason. So I'm feeling pretty good about them right now. I'm feeling pretty good about them.
I think Ellie and Jesse are doing great.
Yeah, I think they're doing great.
Listen, to segue into the stock report, my day trade guy last episode, I really think that Cody was I bought back in. I bought
think
back
you sold
in at
too
the low.
early.
Oh, I may have sold too early, but I may have taken a gain. But listen, it was his relationship with Jesse that painted the Justine picture to begin with, in my opinion. 1. 2, I think that now he clearly has more power in his pocket that he has an idol. 2. 3, I think he's got the most solidified partner in his pocket in NECA, because NECA's more going to be on his side than Jesse or anybody else.
You think more him than Jesse?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. So, to me, stock report wise, Mr. Cody has risen. And again, I when you talk about power players with Jesse and Ellie, I do agree. They've shown their personableness, if that's even a word, the most. And I do like what I've seen from Sammy. I do think he's got instincts when he's showing his age. But I also think he's shown some decent maturity. And I think he's very smart. I do.
He's fun to be around too, it seems.
Yeah, he's a good character.
So to me, those 4, Noel had his stock down. Gabler is like an unlisted security. You can't even.
Yeah, he's not on the
non-investment grade. Some sketchy bond somewhere sitting on the exchange.
But listen, that's kind of where I said I really can't even make a determination from Coco. I guess I like Gio a little bit. I'll buy some Gio.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough with Coco. I agree with everything you said. Obviously Jesse and Ellie. I think Cody, I agree. I think he's a stock up. I think Sammy is a stock up. I think Owen's dipped for me here. And I think Janine went up for me this episode. I mean, episode 1, we didn't even really see anything from her.
Not much. No.
I definitely think that she's a smarter player than I thought she was last episode. So I thought that was a stock up for me there too.
No, that's my biggest takeaway is that I do think we got some smart cats.
I think so too. I couldn't agree more. Toast, what's your stock report here?
I would say just like to temper your guys' takes on Cody, just to throw a little wrench into it.
His threat's gone up.
His threat's gone up. I think that he's a little bit too aloof, that he wouldn't actually feel a blindside coming. Like I said, 3 out of the 5 people now left in this tribe know that he has advantage over them.
Yeah, but one of them is NECA.
So it's good. One of them is NECA, who I think NECA is like
only 2 people in the tribe know he has the advantage. They didn't tell Dwight, I don't think.
Yeah, but he himself. I'm saying he.
Okay.
Because then it would be 2 out of 4 if you don't.
I lean Sim on that. To be honest.
Okay, well, regardless, that's half the tribe that you have to deal with. But so yeah, that's just like a little wrench.
Well, I like your take on him, potentially not being able to see a blind side, and the reason I like that is because I noticed in the tribal he was saying. He never included himself when he mentioned somebody going home that night.
Yeah, he was totally...
He made sure to always exclude himself, and I don't know if that was an on-purpose thing so that he just wasn't a person associated with the idea of going home or something. But it was very interesting he was like, when somebody else on this tribe goes home tonight, he was very also staunch about that.
Yeah. When we talk about like stock stuff, like I'm sure you guys have seen The Big Short. One of the things that they talk about in that is that
good movie, one of my favorite movies.
The 2 guys make a lot of money because they talk about how psychologically people do not spend, or they don't protect themselves against negative outcomes because they're biased, thinking that they don't happen as frequently as they do. So negative things happen at a certain rate, but because you don't want them to happen at that rate, you don't actually protect yourself against it because you don't think it will.
You don't want to think about it.
Cody is Mr. Happy-go-lucky, positive, every day he's living. Yeah. I don't think Cody is really protecting himself against anything that's negative.
I understand, but if you're saying that he's going to war in the game of Survivor, he's equipping himself. He's got Bam Bam, he's got the idol in one pocket.
He's got
Bam
beads.
Bam, he's got NECA in the other pocket. So he's got a little bit of an he's got hat and beads, baby. So strap on the armory and he's going to war. So I understand what you're talking about, but I like what he's got in his arsenal. I'll leave it at this. I want to do this every episode this season. Putting your hand to the fire here. Say your winner pick if you had to say one right now. Simmy, go.
I think I gotta stick with my last week call with Jesse right now. I'm gonna stick with Jesse.
Toast, go.
I want to just say I'll play along. I don't like the concept as much as you would think because it's always evolving. It's always changing.
Of course, but that's why I want it. I like it every week though, because then it's like we can change our answer every week. It doesn't have.
Exactly.
I'm down to change it, but I don't want to get locked into like this mentality. I got locked into Mike last time, guys. I'm still reeling.
You got locked into Mike.
You did.
I was screwed. But I was so close. I mean, we had someone comment.
You never were.
The old zero vote Mike.
We had someone. We had some comments on a video. They were like, "Sorry, Toast, like you're wrong on this one." And I read that comment. I'm like, "God damn, I was wrong on that one."
You printed that out and put it above your bed, so
yeah, exactly. Like I wait. First thing, no, it's like the first thing I see every morning is like, okay, here's another
cut the
day.
Shit, cut the pineapple shit. Let's go.
Who is it?
I think Ellie. I like Ellie a lot, actually.
Okay.
Right, listen. Not a lot to go on, but I still like. The blue tribe's gonna stay strong.
I swear to God, if you say Cassidy,
it's Cassidy, baby.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's Cassidy, baby.
It's just you don't have enough evidence to make that call.
The evidence is that Coco, Cocoa Butter tribe.
Kale's the king of no evidence. He was saying that Drea was making some behind the scenes, not being shown an episode relationship building. He's the king of no evidence. Of course he's picking somebody with no evidence.
Listen, watch Cassidy flourish next week. I'm calling it now. That's my winner pick.
All right, I can't wait to talk about this next week. But, I pray to the gods that you're wrong because I love when you're wrong. I love it.
I want to like Cassidy too, so I don't want to root against you. But this game I thought is supposed to be like, oh, yeah, week to week you can change your mind. But Kale is going to say Cassidy every time because if he's picking her now, why would he not pick her when she has 2 more confessionals next week?
Oh, dude, 100%. This is what happened with Drea. He picked her preseason, and he never let go.
It's horrible. I might see you guys next week.
He left, and he was like, I think she's going to come back. She got voted off, and he was like, I think she's coming back next week.
I'm Ryan Gabler's Bronco. I'm Ryan Gabler's Bronco, too, so we can't ride no more.
This was a great week,
Call
boys.
me Gabler or James Snake James.
Oh, my God. Boys, it's been a good week. I love talking to you boys about this episode. Maybe not as much you, Kale, as Toast, but I did have fun. I appreciate you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and
smash that like.